episode of the Let's Be Honest podcast. And I'm your humble host, Big Bro Tone, and I'm so glad to be here with you guys once again. I'm so glad you guys are locking in with me for another episode of this podcast. And I would just like to thank you guys for supporting this podcast along the way. Right now, we are on episode 28. And again, I want to thank you guys for supporting the podcast. We're definitely getting the episodes in. We're putting the work in. I'm trying to be way more committed to you guys and way more committed to the craft. So I just appreciate you guys for subscribing. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate all the support I get, be it good or bad, because I firmly believe at the end of the day, if it's bad energy, let's regurgitate that into positive energy. If it's great energy, positive energy, let's just keep, adding on to that tenfold. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the love and I always appreciate the hate. I really, really do. It's so funny. And I'm not one to dial into the numbers. I don't really care about that, to be quite honest. I'm just trying to further sharpen my sword, get better at my craft. I'm not really too consumed with the numbers or the figures right now. But it's just funny. I notice it's not just with me, but just with other people that's doing creative things, the people that are doing dope things. I noticed when I started doing my podcast, and again, I'm not one to focus on the numbers, but it is what it is. You see it at the end of the day. I noticed something. Excuse me, y'all. My fucking allergies is bothering me. But I noticed something. I noticed a dip in my engagement on social media, particularly Instagram, right? Now, what I mean is I noticed my likes starting to cut in half or even drop by more than just 50%, 75%, you know what I'm saying? I've noticed a significant drop in my engagement with you guys. Now, I don't know what that means, to be quite honest with you, but I'm not the smartest man in the world. So I'm just gonna put it to you like this. It sounds like people just hate when you doing different shit. Or people just hate when you doing something that you love doing. Or people just hate to see you doing something that they not doing. Or people just love to shit on other people, or they feel better by not supporting you because what you doing may seem to intimidate the world they living in. I don't know. It's so many ways you could slice it, so many ways you could address it. But nonetheless, I noticed a dip in my engagement, and it's okay. I'm not even mad about it. If anything, it's just showing me a lot about the people that I surrounded myself prior, or the people that I allowed to follow me prior on social media. It's just showing me who people truly, truly are. People could say to your face all the time, "Oh yeah, I love what you're doing. Oh yeah, I support you. Keep doing what you're doing, dog. I really do." But then when you say, "Hey, go check out the episode," hey, you don't gotta watch the whole thing. Just show love. Give me a like, give me a click. You know what I'm saying? That shit is dead. But it's so crazy though. It's so crazy because I'm a real supportive person of other people's things. In my opinion, I try to be. I'm only one person. I can only be in certain locations at certain times. I can't be everywhere, but I try to be as supportive as I possibly can. I try to support a lot of people. I try. I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep putting out that positive energy, positive vibes, because that's all I know how to do. I don't know how to be evil. I don't know how to be negative. I don't know how to, be vindictive, or I don't really know how to just not support people that are doing dope things, especially my own people. I don't know. Call me crazy, but that's just something I've noticed, and I'm not even tripping about it. Life still goes on. I'm gonna keep putting out the content, keep putting out episodes of the podcast. I'm gonna keep shoving this fucking podcast down your fucking necks, and it is what it is. Y'all gonna see me, y'all gonna hear me regardless. So keep being you, y'all. Keep supporting, keep hating. I hope all y'all actually had a great weekend. I actually had a really good weekend, now that I think about it. Valentine's Day recently passed. That was Thursday. Valentine's Day was a success. And what else would I do? I spent my Friday in. I didn't really do too much this weekend, but I enjoyed the time that I spent with family. But my Friday for the most part was I spent it in. I just got that new Kingdom Hearts 3. So I've been going crazy on that. I grew up off that shit. So and Saturday was a chill day too. Supported one of my homies. She does art, so I bought a piece from her. Shout out to Code Ren on Instagram, Code_Ren, I believe. She's a dope artist. Make sure I go support her. It's on my Instagram. I tagged her and everything, so it's really easy to find. Yeah, she's a really dope artist. I'm gonna definitely bring her on the podcast at some point. What else did I do on Saturday? I spent a lot of time with my baby, meaning my car. I spent a lot of time with Cleo. She used to be named Betsy when my mom had her, but I gave her a new name. Fuck all that. Betsy, not really my style. She looked more like a Cleo, you know what I mean? She set it off for the boy. But I spent a lot of time with her on Saturday because I've been doing her a disservice, man. I didn't get her, I got her a car wash last week, but then the next day it snowed. And then the birds be shitting all over my car. I really can't. I really don't know what to do. Like no matter what I do. Granted, my car is extremely bright and you can really notice it. So I'm guessing that's why birds are attracted to my car. I don't understand the logic behind it for them. You know what I'm saying? Birds are attracted to shiny things, I guess. But Saturday, got a car wash, vacuumed her out. Went to AutoZone, got some interior cleaner, cleaned my interior windows, my interior dashboard, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Clean my rims, my tires. I just spent a lot of time just catering to my car. And while doing that, it just made me think about, it made me think. I have been really truly doing my car a disservice since I've had her. It's mine, and I need to treat her with a little bit more respect. And I'm just noticing how other people treat their cars. And this is not everybody, but some of the people I've been noticing in particular, they really cater to their cars. They spray their tires down, vacuum, you know what I'm saying? Always got the smell goods in their car. Sometimes I get so caught up in everyday life, I get so caught up in things that really, honestly, don't matter. I'm starting to, like this 2019, I've really been starting to shift my focus to things that truly, truly matter. Things that are truly affecting me. Doing things that I truly want to do. 2018 was like a filling out year. 2018 was like a transition year, just like 2017 was. 2017 and 2018 were very similar in that regard as far as transitioning. But 2019 is going to be a very solid year. And if this is how I look at it. If I can't do something as simple as cater to my own car, my own vehicle that gets me from point A to point B, that does so much for me, then I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any positivity to come my way. And I know that's probably an extreme, but the way I see it, that car, that object is doing it. That object is serving its purpose for me. And all is required of me is to just cater to it, proper maintenance, and that's it. Make sure she's clean, make sure she's beautiful. That's all. See, I don't want to equate women to objects, but they say men treat their cars, or they're supposed to treat their cars how they treat their woman. A good man, of course. You're supposed to cater to your woman. You're supposed to give her nice things and make sure she feels like she's on top of the world. Make sure she feels like she's the only woman in your life. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to cater to her every need. Make sure she's in the most safe environment. Make sure she has everything she needs to, I don't want to say survive. Just make sure she has everything she needs. Or you could just equate it to self. When I say self, I mean your own body. You have to, just like how you got to get an oil change every 3 months or every so many miles, you got to make sure you know, doing the constant maintenance on your car, making sure you know, going to the gym and making sure you sweating and getting, and you know, draining out all the toxins in your body, and you know, just refilling it with fuel, and just, you know, everything relates to a degree. And I'm taking my life more seriously. I'm taking the things that affect me more seriously. I'm focusing more on the things that I can control. And that honestly makes me feel great. I feel we all should be trying to just focus on the things we can control. I'm not saying ignore foresight, but what I'm saying is, after a certain point, your reach only extends but so far. So we have to understand the role we play in not only other people's lives, we understand the role we play in our own destiny. All the choices we make, our destiny is a culmination of all the choices we made. So, and I know I'm going off on a tangent just because of a damn car, but that something as simple as that, something as simple as maintenance on your car, something as simple as maintenance on your own life, on your own body, on your own spirit, your own mental, that can really make a difference in not only how you treat, you know, yourself, but your other people. You know what I'm saying? People pay attention. You know, we're not invisible. People can see when you on some fuck shit, and people can see when you're on your P's and Q's. It's really that simple. But yeah, Saturday, spent time with my car, picked up an art piece from the homie. Then Sunday was a really great day. Sunday was a really great day. My grandma, she graduated from her Bible class, her fellowship classes at her church, and I'm so happy for her. You know, she took that step into committing to the community, to the church, and she's, you know, she's just a light. She's just a light in the darkness. You know, she's such a beautiful person inside and out, mind and spirit. And I know her church, Bethel Fellowship, I believe, in Northeast, Bethel Fellowship. They got a good one, and it was just a really great. It was just a great service. I haven't been to church in a while, if I'm being transparent. I grew up going to church, but as I got older, I just started changing my opinion about church in itself. Started changing my opinion about, you know, just going. As I got older, I just felt in my heart of hearts that my relationship with God is not predicated on the location or where I am. My relationship with God is my own personal relationship with God, and I make it my mission to extend that relationship with God and to make sure I'm doing everything I gotta do as a human being, as a person, you know, for my family, for the people I love, you know, for my community, just being a better person, just being a positive influence, just trying to push good vibes, great energy, and during the service, he spoke. The pastor, he spoke on something very simple, but yet it wasn't common. So the service was based off of a process, but based off of trusting the process. He said we spend a lot of time, or, you know, we believe everything should be handed to us. We believe we should be further along in life. We believe that we haven't lived up to our fullest potential. But are we falling in love with the process? One of the things he said during that service that really triggered me was, he said, convenience is the enemy of process. That shit hit me like no other. It was insane. He said complexity is not a prerequisite for the miraculous. What? Now, I know those statements I'm saying it takes a lot to unpack, and being honest, you know, I'm still unpacking some of it my damn self. But as far as, you know, convenience being the enemy of process, he's absolutely right. if I want to be successful in the things I do, I need to dedicate the time and effort. I need to understand that, every now and again you gotta let go and let God. You gotta just continue to play your role and just let the chips fall where they may. As far as this podcast goes, I have to fall in love with the process. Anything that's given too early will be lost too soon. I firmly believe that. What happens if, let's say this podcast just blows up tomorrow out of nowhere? Am I mentally ready for the things that are going to be required of me? You know what I'm saying? Am I ready for that? And I don't know if I am. Who knows at this point? You feel what I'm saying? Like, God forbid I make it and I lose it all. J. Cole said something at his concert I mentioned a while back. You gotta crawl before you can walk. You gotta literally fall in love with the process so much to the point where you just grind. You love work. You love grind. You love the process more than the outcome. The outcome is just a byproduct. The process is where it builds character. It builds who you are. It fines tune your craft. It fines tune everything that you stand for. That's the process, and I'm learning to fall in love with that every day. It's painful. Don't get it twisted, but I'm learning to fall in love with it because I understand that's what comes with success. Trial and tribulation, commitment, sacrifice, putting your best foot forward, and understanding that this shit comes to an end. And the last thing you want to do is wonder what if. The last thing you want to do is think back like, damn, why didn't I take advantage of that opportunity? Damn, why wasn't I a little bit more patient? Damn, why wasn't I a little bit more secure in myself? Damn, why didn't I take that chance? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're one opportunity or just one relationship away, or sometimes things are closer than what you think, but when you try to force it, that's when things start to fall apart around you, and then it's not truly organic success. So that's what I took from it. It was just I just had a really enlightening weekend. I just had I just had a moment of clarity on Sunday, and it was just a breath of fresh air. I think I'm gonna go back to the church though and show some love for sure, because they say that pastor's dope, and I was told about him prior. So I really like the service, and I think I might go back. I really do. Shifting gears, I got some things I want to talk about. It's been an interesting week. Last week, so many things has going on. Oh, but before I get into the topics, make sure you guys go support the podcast. You can find the podcast. You can find the Let's Be Honest podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Castbox. So many platforms. YouTube. Ever since I made that switch to Anchor, I've been, syndicating the podcast on as many platforms as I possibly can. Make sure y'all go check out the Let's Be Honest podcast. Right now, this is episode 28. We got 27 episodes for you guys to go catch up on. Make sure y'all go support the podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. All the support is always appreciated, you guys. This podcast, once again, is nothing without you, and I'm for the people. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all go find the podcast. Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter. At AWD _I. That's AWD __II. Okay? So and you can find me on Facebook. Shifting gears into some pop culture. Again, it's been very interesting. We had Monique and Steve Harvey. They was on Monique had a visit on the Steve Harvey show, and that got heated. Drake So Far Gone turned 10 years old this month. Offset dropped the first single off his debut solo album, Red Room. 21 Savage spoke out for the first time since being released. The NBA All-Star game was just last night. So we got a couple things that we're gonna discuss. So just starting with the Monique situation. So Monique was on the Steve Harvey Show, and if you're familiar with Monique's trial and tribulations these past year or so, she's been, being very vocal about her dissatisfaction with Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. She feels she has been blackballed from the industry, and it's pretty obvious she has. She spoke out about how Netflix and equality and how she hasn't been receiving the same. She didn't receive the same, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The same payout as other comedic acts on the platform of Netflix. So, she's just been feeling like extremely slighted these past couple years, and I guess she got fed up and she's been speaking out about it. But as far as the Steve Harvey Show, the main point of their conversation was money versus integrity. Now, on the episode, Steve made it very clear that at some point, integrity has to be sacrificed in order to take a couple steps forward, in order to reach success. His words in particular were, we're in the money game. This is not the black man game or the white man game. This is the money game. And these are his words. But, Monique's retort, before the money game, there's the integrity game. So there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot to unpack in this interview, because the last thing you want to do is just clickbait and just watch a little clip, and that's all you have. You really need to watch the interviews, the interview part 1 and part 2 on YouTube to really get a true sense of it. But Monique really been, going off. She told Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels to suck my dick. She on one. You know what I'm saying? And Steve felt like she burned too many bridges, and her problem with Steve is the fact that she felt he should have spoke to her privately before going on his show, saying publicly that she burnt too many bridges. Steve believes that, and Steve, by the time the interview came to a close, Steve agreed that maybe he should have reached out to her prior, and he shouldn't have jumped the gun and went on his show and disrespected her the way he did. He could have reached out to her and then went out on his show. It would. She believes she would have been receptive to it a lot differently. I can understand that. I'm a firm believer in address me first before you address the masses about what's going on with me. If you got a problem with me, speak to me first, and then whatever you do after that, I'm cool, because I know we had a conversation prior. There's no surprises. So they both came to that conclusion, but they truly couldn't see eye to eye on the fact that Monique feels that Steve didn't necessarily come to her defense the way he should have. Steve believes, hey, listen, earlier on I tried to tell you were going about this the wrong way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you went about it the wrong way. That's what he's saying. So there's a lot of nuance to unpack. In my own opinion, if I'm speaking for myself, I don't really have a tolerance for disrespect or ignorance in the workplace. I can't really see myself sacrificing who I am, what I stand for, just for a payday. That's just me. It's a fine line you gotta walk, of course. We all have roles to play, and it's so funny I'm talking about this now. I just was watching an interview on the Breakfast Club with Dr. Eric Dyson, and he was saying that, as black people, we so quick to call each other sellouts. We so quick to throw each other under the bus for not doing what we feel like the other person should be doing, or we feel like this person not doing what I'm doing. I'm doing way more than them, or I'm going about it the real way. I'm staying loyal to the soil. I'm for the people. I'm not biting my own people back up. It's we tend to cancel each other in regards to who's going about the movement the right way. And Dr. Eric Dyson, he believes that's not what we should be doing, and I agree. We all have a role to play in the fight. We all have a role to play in the movement. Malcolm, would get on MLK. Malcolm X would get on MLK, calling him a sellout. Then eventually Malcolm's own called him a sellout. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things that we all have a role to play in the larger fight. We all can't be militant. Some of us got to put on a suit and tie and play those conference rooms or play those offices. Some of us, got to put on our boots and our leather jackets and play the field. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, got to grab our picket signs and play the boycott. Some of us, got to go on live television or live radio or in the media, got to play our role from there. We all have a role to play. And if we all were attacking the target in the exact same fashion, I don't believe we would truly have such a multifaceted society as we do now. Everybody can't be on dishes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be on if we building a house, everybody can't be working on the bathroom. Some people got to work on the bathroom. Some people got to, like I said, some people got to work on the plumbing. Some people got to work on the foundation. Some people got to work on the electrical. Somebody got to work on this. We all trying to build this house. We're all trying to build this this entity, this unit. We're all trying to build this vision. But why are we getting mad at each other for not doing what you think they should be doing? Or why get mad at that person because they're not doing what you're doing? You feel like they're not doing as much work as you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Play your role. But, not drifting too far from the Monique, Steve Harvey situation. Like I said, there's a fine line you have to walk. And what Steve said, because what Steve was saying is a little dangerous. He said, I cannot sacrifice. He said, I refuse to let my integrity be the downfall for my family. He didn't say that verbatim, but that's essentially what he said. But it's a fine line you got to walk. You don't want to be known as the guy that sacrificed everything he stood for a check. But again, like I said, we all got a role to play. Some of us got put on the suit and tie. Some of us got put on the boots. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, and I'll close with this, I don't see myself sacrificing my integrity for anything. Not at this point. I'm too on my way to reaching this level of security in myself, this level of self-esteem. I'm on this path, this journey of self-reliance and being secure, knowing who I am. I'm on this journey of self-discovery, and I refuse to have someone crumble all that shit down. I refuse to allow someone or give someone the power to compromise that for a check. So that's just where I stand on that. I support Monique wholeheartedly. I support Steve Harvey wholeheartedly. At the end of the day, as Black people, we gotta play our roles. We all gotta build this vision together. And all of us can't be doing the same shit. Some of us gotta play. Some of us gotta play the offices. Some of us gotta play the picket line. It is what it is. But moving on, I mentioned Drake's So Far Gone turned 10 years old last week. That project means a lot to my generation, man. How old was I when that project dropped, actually? The project came out on Friday, February 13th, 2009. How old was I? So that's 2009, we're in 2020 now. 10 years ago. Yeah, I was 14. I was like 13, 14 when this shit came out. So, matter of fact, yeah, I was 14. I was definitely 14. I was about to graduate 8th grade. Damn. Man, I was so emotional back then, man. I was so in tune with my feelings back then. Drake just made it, Drake just made dudes so comfortable with just being vulnerable. I'm sorry, but we wouldn't have had this project without 808s and Heartbreak. Drake went on Instagram and posted, put up a post, just pointing out and showing love to particular people who played a significant role in the development of So Far Gone, the project, the mixtape. So he understands how pivotal that was. That project was very pivotal. That project indicated extreme pivot in the direction music was going. And in regards to the type of artists that were going to come out from that point forward, that project serves as like a benchmark in a way to where hip hop took a shift. It wasn't about the tough guys no more at this point. You know what I'm saying? And Drake and Drake was showing that. So Far Gone, by far, is a classic. I think So Far Gone. Well, the question is, does Drake have any classics? Well, that's another conversation. But you just sticking on So Far Gone, I got so many memories attached to this project. Man, came out a week. What was that? Came out a day before Valentine's Day, so you knew what type of time people was on. When you go down the track listing, Lust for Life, Houston to Vegas, Successful featuring Trey Songz and Lil Wayne, Let's Call It All featuring Peter Bourne and John, November 18th, Ignorant Shit featuring Wayne, A Night Off featuring Lloyd, Say What's Real, which is him going in off of the Kanye West beat, Say You Will, off 808 to Heartbreak. Little Bit featuring Like Lee, Best I Ever Had, which was a smash hit. That was Successful and Best I Ever Had were the two songs that catapulted Drake. That those two songs, when those songs came out, it showed, oh shit, this guy, he's gonna be that guy. His upside is so insane. People were literally glued to like social media or whatever was popping at that time, figuring out when he was gonna sign. I remember vividly, Drake hadn't signed to anybody. He was making songs. His affiliations was for Cash Money, and the bidding war was crazy. And I remember one of the lines he said, something made $1 million off a mixtape, some shit, or he popping off a mixtape, some shit. Then signed X on the dotted line like Malcolm, like you know what I'm saying. He was not signing yet, and it was crazy. I don't know if that was a part of the marketing, but I remember vividly it was a time where it was a bidding war for Drake. But where was I? Best I Ever Had, Unstoppable remix featuring Sent to Gold and Lil Wayne, Uptown featuring Bun B and Wayne, Sooner Than Later, Bria's Interlude featuring Omarion. I love that song. The Calm, Outro, Brand New, Congratulations. He just had that project really set the stage for a lot of the music we have out now. You could say, as far as impact, products of that project, as far as artists today, you could say A Boogie. Who else you could say? Oh man, I hate when I gotta think of artists off the top of my head. Just that whole emotional, just wearing your heart on your sleeve type of rapper. He made it cool for those guys, and also he was one of the, I don't know if I should say one of the first, but he was one of the first to be successful at that whole singing and rapping shit. Because, people have tried it in the past, but it's never been something that people really try to pride themselves on. People never really stick with it. No one really did it in a way that it was universally accepted. And when Drake came out and did it, especially on So Far Gone, because he dropped 2 big tapes prior to that, but Room for Improvement and October's Very Own, those projects, they didn't land the way So Far Gone did. And So Far Gone was that moment of, oh shit, this is where hip hop is going. This guy is going to be on the forefront. It's no conversation. Well, some of my favorite songs on the project, if I'm looking at it, my go-tos immediately are Lust for Life, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, November 18th, Ignorant Shit, A Night Off, Bria's Interlude, Brand New, Sabres. You know what? Like, the whole project is really, it aged very well. Now, when I was listening to the project, I was kind of looking for it. I was looking to it for it to be remastered. He didn't really remaster it at all, really. I kind of wish he did. I would have loved to hear Brand New a little bit more tightened up. I would love to hear Bria's Interlude a little bit more tightened up, you know what I'm saying? But in regards to Bria's Interlude, the way, because like it sounds like it's a phone conversation. So it kind of gives like this energy, this vibe about it. It sets this mood or ambiance around the song. It just sounds extremely personal, as if it's a conversation between held two people. And I don't know, Bria's Interlude just does something different. Like he even shouted out Morion, you know, for taking a chance on him and doing the laying down vocals for somebody that he had no idea who he was or what he was going to be. You know what I'm saying? He just shouted, like, this project is a big deal for Drake. And now you can stream it everywhere. It's available on streaming platforms. Like, how the hell a project from 10 years ago, how the hell is it charting on, like it's on, like, in fact, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if it's charting yet, but I got a feeling it's going to chart, because Apple Music was promoting this shit like it was an album. Like this, like this project is overshadowing any new debut projects or any projects that actually came out that day. But shout out to Drake. So Far Gone is timeless. It aged very well from 2009, and this is actually my favorite version of Drake. This and Take Care. These, you know, this is my favorite version of Drake. I don't know. I mentioned Offset. Now, Offset, he had to postpone the debut album. A lot was going on. Of course, we all know. No need to rehash that. But he dropped the first single and video from his debut solo album titled Red Room. The single is titled Red Room. The name of the album, I don't think it's been released yet. But Red Room, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Just hearing this song, well, I watched the video first, but just hearing this song, the content, the production, the way Offset's voice was mastered, I got a feeling this project is going to be the best out of the three Solo Amigo projects that came out. Quavo dropped his first, and then Takeoff dropped his. And I like Takeoffs, but if I'm being honest with myself, I haven't really gone back to it lately. But Offset, I got a feeling this project is going to be extremely personal. He said it's going to be personal. There's actually going to be a documentary coupled with the project. So this is going to be really exciting. Future did the same thing with Hendrix. I'm sorry, not Hendrix. Future did the same thing with The Wizard. He coupled it with a documentary to give context to the project. It kind of adds new life to the project, and I'm excited for that. And it comes out this Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. But as far as Red Room, I don't think I've ever heard Offset be this introspective. I don't think I've ever heard Offset this accountable. If we're adding context to the song, We all know last year Offset was in a serious car accident that really could have claimed his life. He could have lost it all. He had a baby on the way, or I think he just had the baby. I'm not entirely sure, but he had a baby on the way, along with his 3 other children. He could have really lost it all, and things could have changed in an instant. So on this song, that's one of the first things he mentions in the hook about the whole driving the what was the name? He said driving in a green Lamborghini, no tags, some shit like that. I don't know. No, green, was it green Charger? I don't know what car he was in. But nonetheless, he was in a green sports car, and on the song, he's being self-reflective. He's reflecting on everything that has led up to this moment in his life. He's reflecting on everything, all the close calls in his life, all the moments of either or, life or death. And you really feel Offset on this. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stop listening to the song Red Room. He speaks on growing up in a single parent household, how his mom was his dad. Offset is really showing a different side of himself that I don't think we've anticipated. We anticipated a dope project from him, dope music, but I told myself, if this solo shit is gonna work for the Migos, they need to take their artistry, take their craft, take their content to another level. One of the reasons I didn't like Quavo's project was I felt like it was just too surface. It was just a bunch of hooks with features. Just a bunch of extended hooks with features. I just felt like it was just no true. I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it. And then Takeoff's project, I liked his more than Quavo's. I felt like it was a step in the right direction. I just think Takeoff is a really good rapper. So I liked Takeoff's delivery and style and bars, and I really like the production on that project. I also like the fact that it wasn't too long, like Quavo's project, so it was easier to digest. Now, Offset's project, he's shown me so far that he's going to take it to another level. First of all, the visuals for the video were just insane. As far as cinematography, the way the camera angles, the camera was shifting as far as in the panoramic style. Now, everyone knows panoramic is Offset's favorite word to use in his bars, but he really brought that shit to life. You really get a sense for the video. I felt like it was like a metaphor, or it really gave you a true insight into Offset's mind, Offset, the things he thinks about. He's going through an extreme level of PTSD. He said, likely to throw up when I think about the crash. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, like he speak on losing his grandmother, speak on almost losing his life. In the video, there's a scene where he's in the red room, and he's drawing a cross, but he's drawing a cross, and on the walls you see the names of his children, and it's just like he understands how important his role is. He understands that he needs to be here for the people he cares about, and he's just growing up as a man. It seems like he's been extremely self-reflective on all his trials and tribulations, all the close calls. Like I said, the visuals for the project were very, very vivid. The scene with the Black Panthers, the car crash. He shows police brutality towards the black man. It was just an extremely vivid, very the visuals were very appealing to the senses, and this video, it kind of made me look at Offset in a different light, in a good way, of course. It made me look at Offset with much more substance. You know, we all know the Migos, their music is not the most mentally stimulating, and that's no slight on them, but Offset, he upped his lyrical ability in this song, in my opinion. I feel like he truly took his time with these lyrics. I feel like these lyrics mean something to him. I feel like he truly didn't waste a bar. He mentioned his grandmother a lot on his song, like numerous times, and it's clear like losing her changed who he is and how he moved. He mentioned how his mom tried to tell him, like, the Perkies ain't gonna numb the pain, baby. Like, at the end of the day, you gotta face his reality at some point, and the drugs is not gonna numb it. But, you know, Offset is just, he's on his way to drop a very dope project, and I think this project is gonna truly solidify him. I mentioned a lot that Takeoff is my favorite Migo. I say that and I stand on that. But this project, if this project does what I think it's going to do, because the way QC is framing these projects, they're framing it as if Offset is the guy. Because at first people thought Quavo was going to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? But it seems that, you know, Offset, coupled with his relationship with Cardi and everything surrounding him, that he's just his star power is just insane. It's insane. And I feel like out of all the Migos, he's the more versatile one. I think Takeoff is a better, like, rapper, but, like, as far as versatility, the ability to play both sides of melody and lyricism. And the Migos aren't, like, I'm not talking about lyrical, spiritual, miracle. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about just the ability to put words together and have it make sense, but make sense in a clever way. Their delivery, their style, cadence, you know, using their voices as instruments. Offset is extremely versatile, and I'm extremely excited for the project. If you haven't checked out Red Room, make sure you're gonna check it out. Extremely dope track. The visuals are very, very captivating. So shout out to Offset. While we're in Atlanta, let's talk some 21 Savage. He spoke out for the first time, and that's pretty much the latest on it. He spoke out. I don't know what I think he was on Good Morning America. He spoke out, and I'm glad they had. I'm glad they let a black correspondent or a black reporter talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they got that slight nuance correct. Because let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you talk to some of these white correspondents from these news stations or whatever, they just have this energy or vibe about them that's condescending, or they don't truly care about what you're going through. At least by them sending a black reporter to him, it showed that, hey, listen, we're trying to make you as comfortable as possible, and we want to make sure we show that we care about what you have to say and that we're listening. You know, so I salute Good Morning America. If it was them, I salute that. I salute them for, you know, taking that extra step to make sure my man 21 was safe. But you know, he spoke on, you know, everything that had to do with the case, the misunderstanding between you know, law enforcement, how he feel he was targeted, and, you know, just the misrepresentation of who he is as a person, as an artist. Just the misinformation being pushed, and him and his teams have been clearing that up, and he felt like he had to speak out, and I don't blame him. You know, you gotta stand on your own, and you gotta clear your name when things is just not, things just aren't looking right in the light. I believe he was targeted as well. I even believe, along with his legal team believes that. Remember a couple episodes ago I mentioned that since he dropped, you know, a lot, and the video had that secret verse, and he performed the secret verse on the late show. Ever since then, they've been coming at him with this immigration shit. It's weird, right? The timing was just odd, but it's okay. The government's trying to make an example. That's all right. I firmly believe. I pray to God 21 Savage sees this, through, as far as I hope things work out for him. When they asked him about what's his feelings on the system, and does he believe it's broken or things of that nature, and his response was, he doesn't believe the policy itself is broken. He just believes that the way they enforce the policy, that's what's broken. The fact that they're ignoring nuance, they're ignoring simple and very important details when dealing with these immigration laws. It seems like they're approaching it from a black and white standpoint. You're not legal, we're kicking you out. It's a lot of nuance with it, and you can't just approach it that way. But 21 Savage, the Let's Be Honest podcast supports you. I really pray my man really make it out of this situation unscathed. It's a shame how, as a black man, it don't matter what level you reach it to. And this goes back to my point towards Steve. It don't matter how high you get on that echelon of success. You're still a black man at the end of the day. And they will do whatever they have to do to tear you the fuck down and remind you who the fuck is boss. They will try to humble the shit out you. And it is what it is. When you black, and I'm sorry, this just is what it is. When you black, you gotta walk that line a little tighter. If you ain't got the complexion for the protection, it's over for you. And that's just, it is what it is. Shifting gears, the NBA All-Star game was this weekend, and I enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't watched the All-Star game in years. I really haven't. I just really don't care for All-Star weekend that much, but something told me to watch it. Actually, my girl, like, she told me to watch it. She wanted to watch it, so I said, okay, I'll watch it. We'll watch it. So I ain't gonna lie, it was entertaining as fuck. Meek performed, J. Cole performed at halftime. It was just a dope event. Meek did the intro. He did Uptown Vibes. He did both intros, actually. He did the intro from Championships and the intro from Dreams and Nightmares. Like I said, he did Uptown Vibes. It was just a dope event. J. Cole performed, his songs is popping right now. He did KOD, what was it, ATM? I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember. But he performed, he did his verse from A Lot, shouted out 21 Savage. And then he did, and also he did Middle Child. His Middle Child performance was very interesting though, because when he performed it, he did it in all autotune. Now it wasn't a heavy amount of autotune, but he still did it in autotune. I think Cole is trying to make his music a little bit more digestible. Like that song, if you listen to the beat, shout out to T- for the production, but if you listen to the beat, you can tell that bounce, the hook, the niggas been counting me, y'all, I'm counting my chips. He tried to get that bounce, you know what I'm saying? I just poured something in my cup. He tried to appeal a little bit more, trying to expand that audience while still maintaining his core, maintaining his how solid he is and his views and his stances. And by him performing that joint in autotune, it was different. It was definitely different. I don't think nothing was wrong with it. It sounded good. It was a good performance. I just thought it was interesting that he did it in auto-tune. That's all. But as far as the event itself, the teams, well, I'm pretty sure y'all know it was Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. Basically, Team Greek Freak versus Team King James. On Team Giannis, it was the Greek Freak, of course. Steph was his first pick. He had Embiid, Paul George, and Kemba Walker in his starting five. Then his reserves, he picked up Chris Middleton. I feel like he picked him up because that was his homie, but I ain't mad though. Chris Middleton had a pretty solid game. My man came off the bench and literally dropped like 4 back-to-back threes. It was crazy. Nikola Jokic, Westbrook, Blake Griffin, D'Angelo Russell, Nikola Vucevic, Kyle Lowry, and Nowinski was the legend. Was his legend pick. So Team Giannis was very European, but or Team Giannis was very international, you could say. But nonetheless, solid squad. But when you look at Team James, Team LeBron, you got LeBron. Then he picked Durant with the first pick. Then he got Kyrie, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden in his starting five. Then he got Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, LaMarcus Aldridge, Karl Anthony Towns, Bradley Beal, and the legend pick Dwayne Wade. He was picking his homie. So that was that. It was honestly entertaining, man. They had Anthony Hamilton doing the national anthem, and thank God they didn't let that Fergie thing happen again. I love Fergie. Fergie is amazing, but Jesus Christ, I'm glad they just kept it real simple this year. I just thought it was funny when I was watching it. The funny thing about these anthems, man, is the fact that, well, for one, I don't think they're necessary at sporting events, to be honest. But anyway, Canada performed their national anthem first. They had some Canadian girl performing it. It was very cliche, very, cut and dry. And then America came on. The production value was insane. Guitar, and playing in the background. Anthony Hamilton had some background. It was like the production value versus Canada's production value as far as these national anthems. It just goes to show you that America always makes it their mission to shit on other countries and make sure that we are the most seen, the most heard, and the most talked about. Shifting more towards the actual game, though, Steph threw this crazy ass alley-oop to the Greek Freak. It was insane. This crazy ass off the ground bounce pass. Yo, I don't know how he went up and got this drone, but he did. Yo, the man arms is unreal. What else did I see that was dope to me? Yo, Giannis threw this crazy full court pass to Jokic. I'm like, yo, it was like a football pass. It was crazy. Paul George went off. My man did a one-handed 360. I ain't gonna lie, Paul George was putting the moves on Harden though. He hit him with his own step back. It was crazy. He had an interview. He was like, yo, like that? Yeah. I hit him with his shit. It was a dope event. I ain't gonna lie, I was watching it and I mentioned earlier how Giannis picked Chris Middleton. I was talking so much shit for that though. I was like, yo, he picked his homie. Chris Middleton don't deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? He average in comparison to everybody else he with. Like if he played everybody else in a one-on-one, he'll lose. Like I was just talking so much shit. But then he came onto the court and hit 4 back-to-back threes, but ended up going like 5 for 6 for the night, I think, from three-pointer line. He was just going crazy. Like Giannis just kept feeding him, and he was just letting it go from deep too. So you had to just keep shooting it. I don't blame him. He made me eat my words. Embiid didn't really look too good, in my opinion. It was kind of hard for him. Like it was kind of a mismatch as far as like him. Like the starting lineups, it was a mismatch. He had to guard Bron for a lot of the night. He had to guard LeBron and Durant for a lot of the night. You know what I'm saying? It was just he was on his heels a lot, and he kind of struggled on offense. In particular, he was playing D on Durant, and Durant was sizing him up, and Embiid was staying with him, but Durant got an and-one on him, a floater, and it was just he got him. But, Embiid always going to be Embiid. He going to talk his shit. He going to poke at Durant. And Durant didn't like it. He said something to Durant that made Durant snap. But you know, it was all in good fun. Nowinski came in and just dropped bombs from deep. Like, Nowinski, that jump shot is unblockable. There was a point in time where, like, when he was able to get off the ground, that shot was unblockable. But one of the things about the All-Star weekend, the whole All-Star ambiance, I noticed if it ain't in LA or if it ain't in New York City, that shit is just not the same. The star power is really not the same as far as celebrities coming out and showing love. It's just not the same. I mean, Meek was there. Don't get me wrong. There were celebrities there. J. Cole was there. I mean, they was performing. But other than that, it was just... I mean, Robert Kraft was there. Michael Rubin. If it's not in LA or NYC, you're not seeing nobody. Ain't nobody flying in Charlotte, North Carolina, or anywhere else. I might throw Atlanta a bone if it's in Atlanta, but if it's not in either NYC or LA mainly, East or West Coast, it's just not gonna pop. I ain't gonna lie. I'm waiting for the All-Star game to be in Philly. That would be dope, but I doubt it though. I don't know. Maybe if it ain't LA or NYC, you ain't gonna see Rihanna at the All-Star game. Bottom line. But yeah, that's all I really have for this week, you guys. Next week I'm gonna try is the word. I'm gonna try to have another guest on. I don't want to reveal who it is yet because I want to make sure everything can get locked in. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and locking in with me. You guys are always great. I'm glad you guys are showing love to the show. I want you guys to give your feedback. I really need feedback. Give me your opinion. I don't care if it's good or bad. I need you guys to just share with me what you think I should be talking about. What would you like me to talk about? Do you want me to talk a little bit more about this or a little bit more about that? Do you think I could touch more about this? Do you think I was a little too biased talking about that? You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. I want you guys to give feedback. I want you guys to share with me any and everything about the podcast. I'm truly trying to grow this thing. I'm truly trying to invest everything that I have into this podcast. And I would really appreciate if you guys just either subscribe, follow, comment on any platform that the podcast is available on. It's available damn near everywhere. Anchor, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox. Jesus Christ. Man, I said Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, YouTube, Anchor. Just go check on the podcast on all those platforms. The Let's Be Honest podcast with Big Bro Tone. That you search that, you're gonna find me any and everywhere. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram and Twitter, AWD__II. That's AWD__II. Listen, you guys. Remember, creative people do different things. Stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. You guys were tuned into the Let's Be Honest podcast with your man, Big Bro Tone. One love, y'all.